Hi to everyone. In this video, I'm just going to discuss about how to delete an element from the queue. While inserting an element into the queue, at first we are going to check for the condition whether queue is already filled or not. But while doing the deletion operations, we should check for the condition whether the queue is empty or not, because we are not supposed to do the deletion operations when the queue is empty. It's very meaningless, right? That's why in order to check for the condition whether the queue is empty or not, here I am going to check for the condition if front colon equal to null. It means if the front is equal to null, then I can prompt the user as underflow and return. You know very well, whenever if I am just trying to insert an element when the memory location is completely occupied, means by that time overflow will occur. When I am trying to delete an element from the empty data structure, means by that time underflow will occur. That's why here we are checking for the condition whether the value of front is equal to null. If it is equal to null, then we are just prompting the user as underflow and we are returning our program control. In case if this condition is failed, your queue is having some elements that means, just for example, I am taking n is equal to 4, have an assumption as you are having 4 spaces here A and B is standing and the rest of the 2 spaces are free. So front is equal to 1 and rear is equal to 2. This one is called as front and this one is the rear. And the maximum size of my queue is 4. So if this condition failed means, then you can have an assumption as, then easily you can conclude as there is at least one element in your queue. So you know very well that we have already discussed in the POP algorithm itself. That is, we have discussed about the POP algorithm in the stack concept itself. No. Whenever if you are going to do the POP operations, at first we will retrieve the data from the stack, then only we will decrement the top. In the same way, here also we are just going to retrieve the data first. That's why here I have written set item colon equal to queue of front. Okay, so queue of front means what's the value of front here? 1. That means queue of 1 means queue of 1 refers to A. So A will get stored in item. And then what we are going to do it here is, we are going to check for the condition whether the front equal to rear or not. But what's the condition here? Front is not all equal to rear. So condition failed. That's why program control comes to the else if. Here it checks for the condition whether front is equal to n or not. But here front is not equal to the maximum size of the queue. Here the front value is 1 and the maximum size of my queue is 4. So front is not at all equal to n. In such a case, program control comes to the else part. There what we have written front colon equal to front minus 1. Why we have written front colon equal to front minus 1? If we have removed this element from the queue means automatically front will get changed. Right? So now front and rear is equal to same. Front and rear is equal to both are same. Now you just consider the situation. Again I am just going to delete the element from my cube. So first I am going to call this function QDelete. In this QDelete, the first statement is I am checking for the condition whether the queue is empty or not. What's the condition I am checking? Front is equal to null or not. But here front is equal to 2. So condition failed. So program control comes to this line. Here I am just going to say item colon equal to q of front means now the front value is equal to 2. That's why it will set the value as item colon equal to q of 2. It means item colon equal to b. Okay. Then what I am just going to do it here means I am just going to change the pointer. No. So for such a thing we are moving to this step 3, in which I am checking for the condition whether front is equal to rear or not. Yes, of course front is equal to rear because front because we are just having only one element in this queue. That's why front and rear are same. So that's why here we are writing set front colon equal to null and rear colon equal to null, because we are just going to remove this element from my cube. Okay. So after removing means the front and rear must be null only. That's why here we are writing it as front colon equal to null and rear colon equal to null. So when this else if will be executed means in case if I am just having the element in its last position, for example I am going to have D in this last position, means the front and rear is equal to 4, because both the pointers are pointing to the variable D. So front is equal to 4 and rear is also equal to 4. In such a cases, your program control comes to the else if. Let's check that one. First it will check for the first condition, front is equal to null or not. Yes, of course front is not equal to null. That's why programs control comes to the step 2. There we have written q of item colon equal to q of front. It means now the front value is equal to 4. That means item colon equal to 4. So the character D which will get stored in the variable item. Then it will check for the condition. Actually front is equal to rear. Yes, here also front is equal to rear. Means if I have removed this element, then you will get front colon equal to null and rear colon equal to null. Okay, so let's do one thing. We can, instead of setting rear here, I am just going to set, yes, how can we do it here? Yes, I am just going to set this end as the rear. Now consider the situation. First we are checking for the front. Front is not all equal to null. Then the program control comes to the step 2. And we are going to retrieve the informations. Q of front means Q of 4 which will get stored in item. It means D will get stored in the variable item. So what's happening here is next we are going to change the value of front so that we are checking for the condition whether front is equal to rear, but the front and rear is not all equal. That's why condition fails. So your program control comes to the else part. Here in this else also we are checking for one more condition. So in this else if part we are checking for the condition whether front is equal to n. But here the value of front is equal to n only, because the maximum size of my Q is 4 only. So since the front is equal to n, after deleting this element from my Q, actually front should be reset to 1, because this one will be the front after removing that element from my Q. Okay, so that's why here I have written as set front colon equal to 1. Okay, so this is the case. What we have seen the representations for all these three cases. One is when front is equal to rear, and next one is when front is equal to n, and next one is if both these conditions are failed, means automatically this else part will get executed. There we are incrementing the value of front by 1. Kindly notice one thing. In the algorithm Q insert, we are just doing the implementations just for tracing the new value of the year. Here we are just going to trace the new value of front. The reason is insertion takes place at the rear end and deletion happens at the front end. That's why here we are making use of the front as an index for the Q array. Okay. So once again I am repeating, before starting the deletion operations we are checking for the condition whether Q is empty or not. If it is empty, we are going to prompt the user as underflow. Else if this condition failed, means then we are going to retrieve the data and we are going to store it in the variable item. Then we are going to trace the new value of front by using these statements. Okay, so that's all. I hope every one of you have clearly understood about the deletion operations happening in Q. In case if you are having any doubt, kindly post your queries. Okay, thank you.